The US dollar is strengthening against the Indian rupee. In fact, the US dollar is at a 2-week high against the Indian rupee. The US has confirmed what we told you earlier. Washington has found direct links between Russia and a particular refinery in India. The US says this refinery supplied jet fuel to Russia. It supplied it in March and April. This was after the invasion of Ukraine. America says this is a clear violation of sanctions. Now, India has not commented on this yet, but here's what we know. The company in question is called Nayara Energy. It is based in the western state of Gujarat. It has links to Russia's Rosneft. Rosneft is the world's largest oil and gas company. It is also one of the companies sanctioned by the United States. So coming back to Nayara Energy, it bought a stake in this company in 2019. That's 3 years ago. At that time, Russia was not an isolated country, so there were no sanctions. But in 2022, with Russia isolated and sanctioned, it seems Nayara Energy did not want to sever ties with Moscow. And how did they manage this? By backhand selling. The U.S. says this company sold 36 million barrels of jet fuel between March and April. And where did it sell this fuel? To Russian planes and ships, most likely to the Russian military. Think about it. Why else would a sanctioned Russian oil company look for alternative ways to supply jet fuel to the Russian military? The U.S. is calling out these backdoor tactics. Washington says it will impose tariffs on Indian imports. They haven't specified which imports or when, but Indian exporters are worried. Officials in New Delhi have sought more clarity from the U.S. They say they're looking for an explanation. And this is important because if the U.S. slaps tariffs on Indian exports, it will hurt both countries. American buyers will have to pay more for their purchases. I'm talking about everyday items like clothes and toys. These will become more expensive, and India will lose a key export market, not to mention the political fallout. India's ties with Russia have been stable, to say the least. Meanwhile, India's relationship with the U.S. is becoming increasingly important. It is based on shared values, they say, and there is a lot of cooperation in the fields of technology and defense. But all of that could be affected if the U.S. imposes tariffs on Indian goods. For now, the U.S. has just made an announcement. They've shared their intention. But India has not yet received a formal communication. And until New Delhi responds, the Indian rupee will continue to fall. I know the jargon can be quite confusing, so let me simplify it for you. The U.S. is sanctioning. India is not. If the U.S. slaps tariffs on Indian imports, it will devalue the Indian rupee. Simply put, your dollar will buy more rupees. That's what we're seeing right now. The rupee is losing value. The U.S. dollar is gaining value. That's the situation right now. Experts are expecting the rupee to touch a new low very soon, maybe even hit 82 against the U.S. dollar.